So good morning everybody. Today we are going to discuss about the very important transforms. They are called as Head-Mode transforms, and Wash transform is there, and discrete Fourier transform, discrete cosine transform. All these transforms are very useful to simplify our computations. Like Fourier transform, it is very useful in solving the convolution problem. So it made the convolution as a multiplication. So we have in the syllabus we have DFT is there.
क्लास है 10 बजे को खोला ना
1 minute, I will mute it.
आया नहीं रहेगा
So we have DFT, discrete Fourier transform, and if possible you note down. And second one is DCT, discrete cosine transform. DCT is there. Discrete Fourier transform, and this is discrete cosine transform. And one more thing is we have Head-Mode transform. Head-Mode. And we have Walsh transform. And combination of Head-Mode and Walsh is also there. And we have Haar transform is there, Haar transform. And all these are very useful in our image processing. So many applications are there. Like it makes the computation very simple. It will be used in signal processing, and it will be used in the speech processing, and the DCC is particularly used for image compression, etc. But these two are sinusoidal waveforms only. So either DFT or DCT, what it does is it represents the signal. 1 minute. So for this I am using normal method, means blackboard method only I am using for this, for my convenience, because PPT means you cannot understand. So PPT is not advisable for this course. That's why, even though it is difficult, I am trying to explain with pen, whiteboard, right? So for example, we have a some signal is there. For example, this is my signal. So how to represent this signal with the Fourier transform, or otherwise a discrete cosine transform, is we will express this with as a combination of different sinusoidal waveforms. Is it correct or not? So this is one frequency, then there will be another frequency of sinusoidal signal. So we will add different sinusoidal signals with different frequencies to represent this original signal. That is, the signal may be represented as a combination of, for example, A0 plus A1 cos omega naught t plus A2 cos 2 omega naught t etc. So that is discrete cosine transform. That means we are expressing the signal in terms of cosinusoidal signals. if we express the signal in terms of e power j omega naught t, a combination of exponential signals, cos plus sine, then if we represent a signal as a combination of e power j omega naught t, then it is nothing but Fourier transform. So that means we will use orthogonal signals, that is either cos omega naught t, cos 2 omega naught t, both are orthogonal signals. We are representing a signal as a combination of several orthogonal cosinusoidal and sinusoidal signal is a basis for our discrete Fourier transform and discrete cosine transform. But representing a signal with this complex cosinusoidal and sinusoidal signals make the computations very tough, and it is not easier also. So Walsh or Hedmod, they have started using another type of representation. What is that representation? Instead of representing with cosinusoidal and sinusoidal all these things, they have used a different method. The method is here very simple. They use only ones and minus one. So we represent the signal with only one, we will multiply the signal with only either 1 or minus 1. So that means instead of sinusoidal or complex signals, now what may be my value is, my matrix may be 1 or minus 1 or combination of these things. So instead of sinusoidal, now we will have a real values, and those real values are either 1 or minus 1. So instead of cos omega naught t means it may have different values. Now that will be avoided by a simple 1 and minus 1. So let us see what is my Hedmond transform now. Hedmond transform or Walsh transform. Both are similar. So let me start with Hedmond transform. So the basic idea is we have to use only ones and minus 1, only that. So Hedmond transform is a recursive one. So it starts with H0 is equal to 1, and a new matrix can be formed. With example only you can understand. A new matrix, for example, H0 is equal to 1, for example. Let us start with H0 is equal to 1. A new matrix H1 it can be formed by HM. HM is equal to H1 is equal to 1 by root 2 HM minus 1. What is HM minus 1? That is H0. M is equal to 1 here. So M minus 1 is 0. Previous value. What is previous value? That is 1. And HM minus 1. Again 1. Again HM minus 1. 1. But minus of HM minus 1. Minus 1. That means H of minus 1. H of 1 is equal to 1, 1, 1, minus 1. The Hedmond matrix is like this. So it is actually very simple. For example, H2. If I want to find out H2, అంటే చాలా సింప్లిఫై చేసి చెప్తున్నాను అన్నమాట. ఇది H2 కావాలనుకోండి, అప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి? H2 is equal to, according to the formula, one by root 2 H1 H1 H1, and you have to write minus H1. So what is H1 then? It is nothing but 1, 1, 1 minus 1. Then how it becomes? Anyway, 1 by root 2 and 1 by root 2, it becomes 1 by 2. Let us take only the matrix values. Then what is my value? Listen carefully. H1 is equal to 1, 1, 1, minus 1, again 1, 1, 1, minus 1, then 1, 1, 1, minus 1. Final last one, what happens? It should be multiplied by minus sign. Then it becomes minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, and 1. This is the matrix. Similarly, you can form 8 by 8 matrix, 10 by 10 matrix. 10 by 10 is not there. 8 by 8 matrix, 16 by 16 matrix, or 32 by 32 matrix. You can develop like this. So first one is H0 is started with 1. Then what happens? H1 is equal to the 1 here. It will come here 1, 1, 1. All the edges, it will be 1, 1, 1. And the final one should be reverse of this. Similarly, you can divide this into 4 parts. This is same. This, and this same. And the final one is reverse of that. Minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, 1. That is the logic. Very simple, pretty simple. But we require a little understanding of this. How to use this also I will explain. Now you see, the first one is H0 is equal to plus 1 and H1 is equal to 1, 1, 1 minus 1. Then what happens? 1 by root 2 and again 1 by root 2. It becomes 1 by 2. 1 by 2 of 1, 1. So you have divide this into 4 parts. 1, 1, 1 minus 1, 1, 1, 1 minus 1, 1, 1, 1 minus 1, and again everything is reverse. Again for H3 is nothing but 8. Again you have to divide this into 4 parts. So this part and this part is same, and this part is also same. Same previous matrix we have to take, and everything is reverse here. So if you try to remember, if you remember this is enough for Hedman matrix formation, and problems you can solve very easily. But anyway, they are not giving problems, but if any problem is given also, you can simplify very easily, right? Then now let us try to understand this matrix, H1, H2 matrix. So here you find out how many number of sign changes are there. కొద్దిగా లాజిక్ వాడాలి ఇక్కడ, కొంచెం జాగ్రత్తగా చూడండి. First one is 1, 1, 1. How many sign changes are there? How many sign changes are there? There are only 0 sign changes. Sign changes means 1 to 1 no sign change, 1 to 1 no sign change, and 1 to 1 no sign change. So it is equivalent to 0 sign change. Here I am writing 0 sign change. Then second one is 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1. Then how many sign changes are there? You have to look at. How many? Minus 1 inch 1 sign change, 1 to minus 1, again 1 sign change, minus 1 to 1. అంటే ఇక్కడ నుంచి చూడండి, జాగ్రత్తగా అబ్జర్వ్ చేయండి. Minus 1 to 1 sign change, again 1 to minus 1, again sign change, and minus 1 to 1, again 1 sign change. How many? 3 sign changes are there. Then third one is 1, 1 minus 1 and minus 1. So now there is no sign change from minus 1 to minus 1, but 1 sign change from minus 1 to 1, and there is no sign change from 1 to 1. So how many sign changes are there? 1 sign change is there. This is very important for our Walsh transform. Nest transform is there, no? For that, it will be very easy to remember. If you know Hedmar transform, then easily you can find Walsh transform also. Even though there will be a very complicated formulas for Walsh transform, but that is not required. Simply, if you know the Hedmar transform, you can form the Walsh transform matrix also by simply replacing this. Small change will be there. I will explain that. So listen carefully. Then 1 minus 1 minus 1 1 is there. 1 minus 1 minus 1 and 1 is there. So 1 2 minus 1 1 sign change is there. There is no sign change from minus 1 to 1, and minus 1 to 1 1 sign change is there. So this is 0 sign change. Second one is 3. Next one is 2 1. Next one is 2 sign changes, right? So if we arrange the matrix according to the sign change ప్రకారం 0 1 2 3 చేంజ్ చేసాం అనుకోండి, ఎలా వస్తుంది? ఫస్ట్ 0 sign change first. The row corresponding to 0 sign change is 1 1 1. This is 0. Then row corresponding to 1 sign change, that is 1 1 minus 1 minus 1. This is the row corresponding to 1 sign change. Then the row corresponding to 2 sign changes, 1 minus 1 minus 1 and 1. This is the row corresponding to 2 sign changes. Again, row corresponding to 3 sign changes, that is 1 minus 1 1 minus 1. This is about this is nothing but Walsh transform. This is Hedmar transform. This is Hedmar transform matrix and this is the Walsh transform matrix. The difference between Hedmar transform and Walsh transform is Hedmar transform we will get different order sign changes, but in Walsh transform the same Hedmar transform is rearranged in such a way that the order of the sign change is in a order 0 1 2 3 sign changes. Now the matrix is like this: 1 1 1 1 and 1 1 minus 1 minus 1, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1 and 1 minus 1 minus 1. It is the order. So you can form the 8 Hedmar matrix also, but that is not required. So let us see in detail of this Walsh transform also, how to form with equations. ఒకసారి ఈక్వేషన్స్ తో చూద్దాము. చాలా ఈజీ యాక్చువల్గా, బట్ అదంతా మనం క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్ చేయలేము ఆ ఫార్ములా యూజ్ చేసి. ఇదే సింపుల్ అన్నమాట నేను చెప్పిన మెథడ్. Now let us see very important Walsh transform. The Walsh transform is defined by W of u is equal to, this is the W of u. One dimensional Walsh transform I am explaining. Two dimensional you can extend that by including the xy axis. Then two-dimensional it becomes u comma v, w of u comma v. Now I am explaining about only one transform, 1 by n. The formula is very simple, 1 by n summation x is equal to, why I am writing all these things is you must know the each and individual element here. N minus 1 f of x. So what is f of x then? The f of x means your signal, original signal f of x. Maybe for example తీసుకోవాలి దీనికి ప్రతిదానికి కూడా. f of x is equal to, let us suppose, a matrix with 0, 1, 5, 6. 4 samples ఉన్నాయనుకుందాం. Let us have 4 samples here. They are 0, 1, 5, 6. That means f of 0 is 0. F of 1 is equal to 1. F of 2 is equal to 5. F of 3 is equal to 6. See here, we have 4 values, 0, 1, 5, 6. Then what is f0 is 0, f1 is 1, and f2 is 5, f3 is 6. So 5 values we have, right? There is no confusion. Then f of x is represents this 4 values. The n is equal to here. What is how many number of samples? So n is equal to 4 number of samples. If it is 4, then n becomes 4. So ఇక్కడ ఎక్కడి నుంచి x is equal to ఎక్కడి నుంచి తీసుకుంటాం అన్నమాట, 0 to 3. That we have to understand. 0 to 3 f of x. Then again formula continues. F of x within bracket means continuation here. Here it is a continuation, but I am writing it at this point. The same bracket I am writing here. That is multiplication. F of x is multiplied by pi is equal to pi. Pi means product. If this is summation, this pi is product. I is equal to, in so many textbooks, local other textbooks, it is given wrong. That's why don't follow local other textbooks. Small n minus 1. Here it is given as small n minus 1 minus 1 whole power bi of, ఇదంతా ఇది ఎలా అంత కాంప్లికేటెడ్ గా ఉంది కానీ చాలా ఈజీ. bi of x and bi of b n minus 1 minus I. ఇదంతా అలా రాసుకోవాలి మీరు, అప్పుడే ఇది అర్థమవుతుంది. పీపీటీలో అయితే 1 సెకండ్లో అయిపోతుంది, కావాలనే రాస్తున్నాం. U. This is the formula. But what is b and bi of x and bi of u? B of n minus 1 minus u. This is the formula. Once again, I will repeat this. Any Walsh transform is defined by 1 by n summation x is equal to 0 to n minus 1. This n minus 1 represents the number of samples. From 0 to number of samples, we take each and every sample multiplied by I is equal to 0 to n minus 1 minus 1 whole power pi of I is equal to 0 to n minus 1 minus 1 whole power bi of x b of n minus 1 minus comma u. What is b bit? ఇక్కడ ఇది కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ గా ఉంటది. కొంచెం కేర్ఫుల్ గా కనుక అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే అదేమి కష్టం కాదనమాట. జాగ్రత్తగా వినండి. సో n కనుక ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ శాంపిల్స్ n is equal to 4 అయితే small n represents how many bits we can represent with. 4 అంటే ఏమవుతుంది? small n becomes 2 power 2, that means 2. 4 శాంపిల్స్ ఉన్నాయంటే దాన్ని 3 తో రిప్రజెంట్ చేయొచ్చు. 3 బిట్స్ శాంపిల్లో ఉన్న వాల్యూస్ కాదు, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. సో 2. అదే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ n is equal to 8 అయితే it becomes small n is equal to 3. n is equal to 16, small n is equal to 4. So small n is 1 with with how many number of bits we can represent the sample number, not sample value. You have to understand that. And that means f of 0, f of x maybe ఇలా ఉండొచ్చు 0, some 100, ఇలా ఏదో ఉంది 0, 10, 100, 200 like this. But we require only the number of samples, not the value present in this. Value present may be 255 ఉండొచ్చు, but we are not asking that. We are concerned with only the how many number of samples. If the number of samples is 4, small n is equal to 2. If the number of samples is 8, small n is equal to 3. It continues like this. In general, 2 power n is equal to 2 power small n is equal to capital N. So pi product value you have to take from 0 to n minus 1. For example, if the number of bits are only 2, then 0 to 1 only. Number of bits 3, 0 to 2. Minus 1 whole power, this is multiplication. bi of x, ba of bn minus 1 minus 1 of u. So let us take this particular portion separately. ఈ ba of x, ba of n minus 1 minus u. ఇక్కడి నుంచి ఇక్కడ వరకు మనం సపరేట్ గా చూద్దాం. What is this meaning? Okay, let me erase everything now. Now let us see only this particular portion, that is minus 1 whole power ba of x and ba of b of n minus 1 minus I of u. So ba of, for example, x value is, let us take n value as 8 and small n value becomes 3 and x value, for example, f of x is equal to number of samples, 8 samples are there. We have 8 samples. It may be some 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 5, 3. How many are there? 4 and 4. Enough. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 5. So totally 8 samples are there. Now let us understand this bi of x. Now let us suppose I will take x is equal to some 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. So x is equal to 3. Let us take x is equal to 3. ఒక్కొక్క దాన్ని చూద్దాం ఒకసారి. ఎగ్జాంపుల్గా ర్యాండమ్గా తీసుకున్నాం. x is equal to 3. Then for suppose u value ఓ కనపడుతుందా? వినీత్, ఇస్ ఇట్ విజిబుల్?
సార్
హలో
కనపడుతుందా? ఇది మధ్యలో సైన్ అవుట్ చేసేస్తున్నారండి నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ వాళ్ళు. పెద్ద ప్రాబ్లం
కనిపిస్తుంది సార్.
కనిపిస్తుంది. ఇంకా 25 minutes ఉంది కదా, ఎందుకు కంగారు? సో x is equal to 3 అండ్ u is equal to ఫర్ సపోజ్ 2 అనుకుందాం random గా. ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది చూద్దాం. bi of x, i వాల్యూ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ i వాల్యూ 2 అనుకోండి. ఇప్పుడు మొత్తం అంతా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మన దగ్గర ఉంది. సో ఇక్కడ ఏం చేయాలి? bi of x అండ్ bn-1 ఆఫ్ ఇది క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయాలి. చూద్దాం. ఇది చూడటానికి ఇలా ఇంత కఠినంగా ఉంటుంది కానీ చాలా ఈజీ అన్నమాట, కొంచెం కొంచెం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తే. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ bi of x, bi of x. చాలా సింపుల్. ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఏం కావాలంటే ప్రొడక్ట్ ఆఫ్ bi of x అండ్ bn-1 i of x కావాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఏం సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేద్దాం? i వాల్యూ 2 అనుకున్నాం కదా. సో b2 of x, x ఎంత? 3, b2 of 3 అండ్ b of n-1, n వాల్యూ ఎంత అనుకున్నాం? 3 అనుకున్నాం. సో 2 minus 2 అంటే 0, 2 minus 2 0, 2 minus 2 ఆఫ్ u వాల్యూ ఎంత అనుకుంటున్నాం? 2 అనుకుంటున్నాం. ఇవన్నీ అన్నిటికి చేయాలి, ప్రతి వాల్యూకి చేయాలి. నేను ఒకదానికి చేస్తున్నాను అంతే. b2 minus 2. సో b2 of 3, 3ని ఎలా రిప్రజెంట్ చేసుకోవాలంటే, సో 3 కెన్ బి రిప్రజెంటెడ్ బై, ఎలాగా బిట్స్ లో కనుక 3 బిట్స్ గా రిప్రజెంట్ చేయాలంటే దీన్ని ఎలా రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాం? 0 1 1. ఈ 2ని ఎలా రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాము? 0 1 0. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలంటే మనం దీన్ని b0 అంటాం, b2 కావాలి మనకి. దీన్ని ఎలా రాసుకుంటాం అంటే b0 b1 ఎలాగైనా రాసుకోవచ్చు, ఆర్డర్ మన ఇష్టం, కానీ ఆర్డరే ఫాలో అవ్వాలి. b2 అలాగే ఇది కూడా b0 b1 b2. ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే పరిస్థితి, ఈ b2 of 3 ఏదవుతుంది? b0 b1 b2 of 3 ఎంత అవుతుంది? 1 అవుతుంది. సో b0 of 2, సారీ ఓకే ఇది b0 కదా, సారీ ఇది b0 of 2 అంటే ఇది కూడా 0 అవుతుంది. సో 3 zeros. సో b0 of 2 అంటే ఇది. b2 of 2 ఇది, b0 of 2 అన్నారు. సో 2కి ఇలా రాసి, ఓహో సారీ నాది తప్పు. ఇది b0 of 2 కదా, 2 కదా, ఓకే. ఇది 1 యాక్చువల్లీ 1 0 కరెక్ట్. 3నేమో ఇలా రాసుకున్నాం బిట్లో, 2నేమో ఇలా 0 1 0 కింద రాసుకున్నాం. సో ఇప్పుడు b0 of 2 ఎంత అనమాట? ఫస్ట్ది 0. సో ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి? 1 multiplied by 0 అని రాయాలి. ఇంకొక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూద్దాం. ఇంకో ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూస్తే మనకు క్లియర్ అయిపోతుంది. మళ్ళీ ఇంకొకటి ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూద్దాం. I will erase this. ఇంకో ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూద్దాం. B0 of I value, for example, జీరో అనుకుందాం. ఎక్స్ వాల్యూ ఏమో ఐ వాల్యూ 1 అనుకుందాం. ఇందాక ఆల్రెడీ చూసాం కదా, 0 అనేది 1 తీసుకుందాం. ఐ వాల్యూ 1 తీసుకుందాం. ఐ వాల్యూ 1, ఇదేమో 3, ఇదేమో 2. ఓకే, సో నౌ what is my I value now? It is 1. So b1 of x and 3. ఇంకా ఈజీయే మీకు చెప్పటం. bn minus 1 minus I means n is equal to small n is equal to 3, then 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 means 1. b1 of u is equal to 2. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలన్నమాట, దీనికి ఏంటో రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాం బిట్స్లో. b1 of 3 అన్నాం కదా, 3కి ఏంటి 0 1 1, దెన్ 2కి ఏంటి 0 1 0. నెక్స్ట్ సఫిక్స్ ఇండికేట్స్ ది పొజిషన్ ఆఫ్ ది బిట్. పొజిషన్ ఆఫ్ ది బిట్ ఏంటి, b1 of 3. b1 అంటే ఇది b0, ఇది 0th పొజిషన్, b1 పొజిషన్, b2 పొజిషన్. ఇంత ఎగ్జామ్లో రాయక్కర్లేదు మీరు యాక్చువల్గా, కానీ మీకు ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ కోసం నేను చెప్తున్నాను. నౌ b1 of 3 అంటే 3లో సెకండ్ పొజిషన్, ఫస్ట్ పొజిషన్ ఏంటి అంటే 1th పొజిషన్ ఏది 1, సో ఇట్ ఈస్ 1. అండ్ 2లో ఫస్ట్ పొజిషన్ ఏది 1, సో 1 multiplied by 1. వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ వాల్యూ, 1 ఓన్లీ. అంటే ఇక్కడ ఫార్ములాలో ఏముందంటే ఇది -1 హోల్ పవర్ అని ఉంది. సో అయితే ఏమవుతుంది అనమాట, ఏదర్ 0 అవుతుంది, -1 హోల్ పవర్ 0 అన్న అవ్వాలి, -1 హోల్ పవర్ +1 అవ్వాలి. -1 హోల్ పవర్ 0 ఏమో 1 అవుతుంది, ఆర్ -1 హోల్ పవర్ 1 ఏమో 1 అవుతుంది. సో సారీ -1 అవుతుంది. దట్ మీన్స్ either we will get either 1 or -1. సో ఫస్ట్లోనే మీకు చెప్పాను, ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తే ఏంటంటే, సో either we will get 1 or -1. f of x value will be multiplied either by 1 or -1. That will be decided by the position of the bits. పొజిషన్ ఆఫ్ ది బిట్స్ ఎంత అనే దాని మీద అది డిపెండ్ అయి ఉంటుంది. దాన్ని వాల్స్ ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మ్ అంటారు. యూ కెన్ ఫైండ్ ది ఇన్వర్స్ వాల్స్ ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మ్ ఆల్సో using the formulas. So this is about the one-dimensional Walsh transform, but you can construct it very easily using matrix. ఒకసారి మ్యాట్రిక్స్ వచ్చిందంటే మీరు ఆ సిగ్నల్ మల్టిప్లికేషన్ చాలా సింపుల్ అన్నమాట. సో దట్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ టుడేస్ టాపిక్. సో వన్ మోర్ టైమ్ ఐ విల్ రివ్యూ ఇట్. So the Hedman transform here is a recursive method. Means you can find out the Hedman transform starting with h0 is equal to 1, and you can reconstruct with the formula hm is equal to hm minus 1, hm minus 1, hm minus 1 and minus hm minus 1. And this is called as knocker product. And H0 is equal to, here it is start with 1, and this is 1 1 1 minus 1. Second 1 1 minus 1 1 1 minus 1 and 1 1 minus 1, and the last one becomes reverse. If you observe this 1 1 1 minus 1 1 1 minus 1, and the last one becomes reverse. So similarly here also same thing. Okay, so if you remember this matrix, that is more than enough for your examination point of view. And how it will be useful, అది డౌట్ రావచ్చు మీరు. అది ఎలాగా, ఒకవేళ మనకి ప్రాబ్లం ఇస్తే ఎలా చేస్తాం అంటే, if f is my input image, then what I can do is, this is W is Hadamard or Harvard Hadamard transform, Walsh or H. Then what I can do is H transform F H. So multiplication of H transform with F with H gives the transformed matrix. So if you know the matrix, that is sufficient to get the output image. So we'll see tomorrow so many examples of this. And this is about the introduction of the transforms. And maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, means Monday or Tuesday, we will finish the transforms part also. And after that, we will enter into the third unit.